I'm going to share with you guys exactly how I got my first land flipping deal, and it all started back in 2019. Now, it actually started with this letter right here. Dear owners of blank, my name is Sumner Healey. My wife and I wasn't married, are Poway locals. We are looking to expand our portfolio. We'd like to make a cash offer for your property. Please call blank, 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 blank. Looking forward to hearing back from you. Regards, Sumner Healey. This is the letter right here that started it all for me. And it started in the summer of 2019. Now, ironically, this started by me sending this to houses, handwritten, didn't work. Got a tax delinquent list for land in Elko County, Nevada, found it online for free. Started sending some of these handwritten letters to that. Very time consuming, don't recommend it. Got a call back from a gentleman, had a 5-acre piece. One of the few people that called me back. And for context, I got 0 calls from the houses. And I got a few calls from the land. And all of the land was in Elko County, Nevada. So a gentleman calls me back, says, hey, my pops has got a 5-acre. I'm the son. He's looking to sell. He's getting old, blah, 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 blah. I was driving out for Thanksgiving at the time, 2019, November. I have no idea what the property's worth. I don't even know how to pull up a map of it. I'm clueless. I didn't even know what a deed was. I knew nothing. I had built businesses before, but I knew literally goose egg about real estate. So I kind of pretend like I know what I'm talking about. I throw out some random offer. I think it was $2,000. I really cannot remember for the life of me. But I remember just doing simple math and just thinking, whatever, if I buy it for a couple $100 an acre, I'll probably do okay. And we kind of played this game of tug of war, went back and forth. He ended up saying no. But I actually didn't take the wind out of my sails at all. I was fired up. I was fired up that someone actually called me. I was fired up that someone actually wanted to sell. I'm like, dude, there's something here. This land thing is kind of crazy. So I said, okay, I need to send more letters, but there's no chance I'm going to be able to send more of these handwritten letters. This is too slow, too silly. All I needed was that little bit of validation. So I find this mail house in San Bernardino, California. I wish I remember what it's called. I don't remember what it's called. I paid way too much per letter. I think it was like 65 cents per 2-page letter. For context, now we pay about 52 cents per letter. And that's including inflation. And I didn't know how to get data, right? So I'm like watching YouTube videos. How the hell do I find ownership data? Because I was using this tax delinquent list. I found it online for free, but I couldn't find it everywhere for free. A lot of the counties, you had to pay for it. Like they mail it to you like on a CD or a thumb drive or like really weird setups. And what I thought, at least, is that like for a lot of these cheap properties that were tax delinquent, like we're talking about properties where the taxes are $20 a year. I'm like, why would someone not pay these? Well, it's probably because they're old and they might be dead. I'm not saying all tax delinquent people are, and I think with really expensive properties, this math is different. But on a deal where it's $20 a year, why is someone not paying this? Probably not a money problem in most cases. So I just found it's not really the demographic that I wanted to deal with. So I find this tool called Data Tree from First American, the title company. Still use it today. We have hundreds of people inside of Leah that use it. We've got discounts for it in the description down below. Great tool. It's like, cool, okay, get Data Tree. I'm completely clueless on how to use it. I was living in San Diego at the time. And I knew I wasn't going to buy land in San Diego, right? Like I needed like land that was in the desert. I needed cheap stuff. I knew that much. So for some reason, I started looking at Las Vegas. I don't know. I thought Las Vegas was cheap. No, Las Vegas was way too expensive. Kind of just toying around on the map. I don't even know how to use the search feature. I'm just using the map on there and toying around. And I found this town west of Las Vegas. I said, oh, that's interesting. Small little town, probably about an hour from Las Vegas, called Parump. Draw a polygon on Data Tree, circle it up. I said, okay, cool. Show me more of that. There's like 1 billion records that pop, like tens of thousands of ownership records for vacant land. I'm like, whoa, why is there so much land here? Well, I started doing research, and then like the 60s and 70s, there was a crazy land boom here. All these developers came into Parump, subdivided these little 1/4-acre lots. They would go to this strip here in Las Vegas and sell them to tourists. They'd pull tourists off the strip, pull them into like this sales pitch room, kind of like a timeshare, and sell them hard. And so what you had is this kind of demographic of people that had bought the land 50 years ago in some cases. A lot of them had never been to the property. They way overpaid for the thing. They had zero attachment to it. In fact, they were kind of like resentful of the property because they just got swindled. And so there's just, I was like, there's got to be motivation here, right? Kind of reading up on the story. But I sent out some offers. I was doing like the 1/4-acre infill stuff. I offered pretty much every 1/4-acre the same price. I think it was $1,027 and like 27 cents or 76 cents. And I knew sevens were a valuable number, like the psychology of numbers, like sevens portray value. So I try to kind of use that. I try to not use round numbers in my mailing, but I pretty much blanketed the same offer to everyone. And what's interesting is in Parump, like a lot of markets, there's 1/4-acres that have utilities that are really valuable. They're worth like 30 G's. There's 1/4-acres that are worth $3,000. They have very little value because it's zoning or it's in the middle of nowhere. There's no utilities, things like that. So of course, I only get the bottom of the barrel because I didn't know anything about creating blind offers, nothing about breaking up data. I just was clueless. So I only get the cheap stuff. But the cheapies are actually interested. They do want to sell. And online, again, these are trading for about $3,000. So I'll never forget. It was January. We had just rolled into 2020, and I'm driving. I just left work. I was working as a sales guy at this design agency. It's called Sly Genius. We built pitch decks for startups that were raising like seed rounds or Series A, Series B, things like that. I was driving to the gym after work. Look, I just pull up into LA Fitness. I get this call. I'm like, random number. I pick up. They're from the Bay Area. Husband and wife, they had to fly out. They were going to the Philippines. They wanted money for their trip or something like that. I don't remember all the details of why they needed to sell, but they needed to sell within like 2 weeks before leaving. They're flying out of SFO, had to sell. So we accept your offer. I'm like, oh shit, what do I do next? And I don't have anyone to call, and I'm not in a coaching program. I mean, I literally was all on my lonesome, and that was not a good idea. I should have just ponied up and said, I don't know anything. I need some help. So I'm like, dude, what the hell do I do? So I kind of play it cool. Yeah, okay, yeah, no worries. What I did know is they have to sign the purchase agreement. Like, that's obvious. Yeah, sign the purchase agreement. No worries, no worries. So I actually call one of the people that works at the county in Parump, the Nye County. I'm like, hey, I'm buying a piece of land. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing. She's like, look, on the record, I'm not supposed to give you legal advice, but off the record, this is what you need to do. So she walked me through it. She's like, get a deed, get it notarized, get them to sign it, send it back, pay the recording fee, da. So this angel of a lady walked me through it and sent a notary to them, found a deed template, sent it to them. Deal comes back. I sent it to the county recorder's office to record it. I did that whole process wrong, so they mail it back to me. Like, oh shit. Send it back, kind of go back and forth. Finally get the thing recorded, finally get it my name. I'm like, dude, I'm a real estate owner. I was like blown away. I own real estate. No one in my family really owns real estate. I feel like I made it, even though it's another property. I was like, dude, this is crazy. So I put it up on Facebook Marketplace like anyone does. I figure that's where you sell land. And I'm actually getting hit up, which kind of surprised me. I'm like, damn, people are actually interested in this. I get this lady that's living in the Midwest. I think she was in Michigan. I want to say it was like 2 to 3 weeks after listing it on Facebook. And I'm on it. Every message that comes in, 30 seconds later, I'm sending a response. I'm getting people on the phone. Like, I was working this. This had to work. I was going to make this work. And this lady calls me up. We have a call. It's like 7 o'clock at night on a weekday. We're just chatting. I'm just like, not selling her. I'm just chopping it up with her, just chatting. Because I don't even know what to sell. I don't know anything about the land. And she's like, okay, I'll take it. What do I do? And I'm like, PayPal me the money? That sounds so sketchy to PayPal money for real estate. She's like, yeah, okay, I'll PayPal. What's your PayPal? I'm like, holy smokes. I remember I give her my PayPal, the email, and like 10 minutes later, forget what it was, $2,800 or something. Bam. We didn't sign a document, nothing. Like, she just trusts me immediately. Whoa, this is crazy. Like, I just made whatever, $1,700 on this deal, like a couple weeks. I don't even know what I'm doing. Imagine if I knew what I was doing. So yeah, sold it to her. Allegedly, she was going to be moving out there. And I don't know if she ever did. Maybe she sold it. Who knows? Land's actually appreciated a ton in Parump, which is pretty funny. The property's probably worth like $9,000 today. And I just kept on doing deals there over and over and over again. Did a bunch of deals there. Started expanding deals in California, Riverside, kind of all over. I knew nothing about underwriting deals. I mean, I was buying consistently landlocked, crappy, crummy properties. But I knew how to buy at a discount, and that served me. I was buying crappy properties, but I was working the leads on the disposition side, making sure they got sold, driving up to hours from San Diego to go visit these properties, show the properties, walk the properties. I was doing a lot, and it all worked out. But it's pretty crazy to think about where I started, and I knew nothing. And you just take it one step at a time. You know, how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time. Now, the path that I took was super slow, not really advised. I recommend you compress time and learn from someone else's experience. Go plug into a playbook that's proven, kind of like what we teach inside of Leah, and you'll just compress time and go so much further, right? But if you're hungry enough and you've got the time, you can make it work without it. Just a little elbow grease, a little hustle. And it kind of gets me sentimental just thinking about the story. Since then, we've done over 600 deals, and it's been a really fun ride. So that's the story, guys. And if you guys are new to land and you want to get our purchase agreement for free, what we use on the acquisition side, what we send to sellers, landinvestor.co/PA, totally free. You guys can go download that, start using that in your marketing, and hopefully you go get some deals. All right, guys.